Broadly, what are some of the major changes that Australians will start to see from tomorrow?
Yeah, there's quite a few coming through tomorrow. So number one is super. Super goes up from 11.5% to 12%. So it's a big change for a lot of people. Of course, super adds up over the lifetime for someone. So it's a nice little increase for a lot of people by the time they hit the end of their working life.
Yeah, let's dig into the superannuation changes. There's an increase to the amount that employers must pay from tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. So it goes up by 0.5% overall, but for some employers, of course, that means a big difference. For others, it's something they've incorporated already. It's not such much of a difference for the larger employers out there. But if you're a small or medium-sized employer, it is a noticeable difference because it adds up to all that cost of living pressures we've already seen in the economy. So going from 11.5% to 12% is going to hurt some employers out there. But of course, good news for the employees because it means then when they retire, they'll have a lot more money in their super account, of course.
Well, more good news for employees. The minimum wage will increase by 3.5% from tomorrow. Can you take us through where that figure has come from and what impact that's going to have on Australian workers?
Yeah, this is based on a submission by union groups to the Fair Work Commission. So they decided to increase the minimum wage up to $24.95 an hour. So just shy of $25 an hour, equivalent to $938 a week for the standard week. So again, it has to be met by employers, but of course, the government and union groups were pushing for this wage increase to bring people up into line with the cost of living increases and inflation increases we've seen. So it is good news again for those people in the low paid. And of course, for the businesses out there, they'll adjust over time to that.
I think that overall it'll end up being about $32 extra a week for a
Yes.
38-hour working week that people will see. Let's look at paid parental leave. Those changes will come into effect tomorrow as well. It's increasing to 24 weeks and then again to 26 weeks from next year. Will there be any change to the split between parents and how long each can take?
Yeah, there will be. And there's some interesting changes as well with the super aspect to paid parental leave. So, firstly, on the split goes from 10 days to 15 days, which is a big increase. So, that means then you can share or keep those days reserved of your leave. So, if you're the prime caregiver, then you can give 15 days now after tomorrow to your partner to reserve. But really interesting is the doubling of the amount of the paid parental leave for both people in a relationship. That goes from 10 days to 20 days, which is, I think, is long overdue. And a lot of people would say that's a welcome change as well. The other aspect, of course, the government was lobbied very hard over this during the election and in the lead up to the election as well, was super being paid during paid parental leave. That happens as of tomorrow. So that's good news for people where if you got paid parental leave, you weren't getting the super though, that's now rectified and fixed and it's at 12%. So it's a good rate of two for the super change as well. So that's really good news all round for those people who become parents on or after the 1st of July tomorrow.
Absolutely, a lot of changes for new parents there. Finally, New South Wales, South Australia and Queensland are also going to see power prices going up from tomorrow. Can you just explain to us the energy regulator's default market offer for the next financial year?
Yeah, so what it is, it goes up between 3 to 5%, depends on the state and what power plan you're on, but on average, it averages between 3 and 5% over the year. So I suppose it's some bad news after follows that good news about the other issues with super and paid parental leave. But for a lot of people, you'll have to look at your plan a little bit harder. But yes, the prices go up, including here in the ACT as well, by the way. So a few different places are affected by these changes across the nation. But the reason why is because in those different states and territories, the market regulator decided that the cost of supplying electricity was getting higher as well. So that was part of the reason behind these changes going on. Expect to see more power price increases in the future as well. Of course, the government has already announced that this will be the last year of the subsidies in place by the government to help alleviate power bill pressures as well. So again, that varies across the nation. Some state governments are helping out with that as well, but that would also end on July 1st next year for a lot of those state governments.
A lot to keep an eye on. Andrew Hughes from the Australian National University, thanks so much for your time and insights.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks, everyone.